It all began with a letter. A plain white envelope, handwritten in fading ink, arrived quietly in the Cooper family's mailbox one breezy Tuesday morning. Mary Cooper opened it while standing in the kitchen, holding a steaming cup of coffee. As she pulled out the single sheet of folded paper, a small Polaroid fell onto the floor. It was a photo of her as a young mother, holding baby Sheldon in a hospital room. Her eyes full of love, but also something else, maybe fear. The handwriting on the letter was unmistakable. It was from her estranged mother. Mary hadn't heard from her in nearly 11 years. Not since a painful argument that ended with slammed doors and broken trust. Now out of nowhere, her mother had written. The letter was short. Mary, I don't know how much time I have left. I've made mistakes. But I'd like to see you just once if you'll let me. Mary stood frozen, the coffee cup trembling in her hands. George Sr. walked in, yawning and scratching his head. Everything all right, Mare? She didn't answer. She simply handed him the letter. George read it slowly, then looked up. Wow. After all these years. Mary nodded. She's dying, George. She wants to see us. Just then, Sheldon walked into the room, talking about baryonic matter, and how most people's understanding of it was frankly underwhelming. He noticed his mother's eyes. Did something happen? Mary hesitated, then sat him down. Sweetheart. I got a letter from my mom. She's very sick. She wants to meet us. Sheldon blinked. Your mother? I was under the impression she ceased to exist in our family timeline. She didn't die, Sheldon, Mary replied gently. She just left. A long time ago. Missy, eavesdropping from the hallway, peeked in. Wait, so we have another grandma? Besides me, Ma? Yes, Mary replied. Her name is Ruth. Why haven't we ever met her? Missy asked. It's complicated, Mary said. She and I didn't agree on a lot of things. But she's still my mother. Sheldon, though confused, recognized the emotion in his mother's voice. He didn't argue. That weekend, the family drove to a small town a couple of hours away. The road was long and quiet. No one talked much. When they reached the address, the house looked like it hadn't been touched in years. Overgrown grass, peeling paint, and a porch that creaked with every step. Inside, a nurse greeted them and led them to a small bedroom in the back. There lay an elderly woman with silver hair, eyes closed, her breath shallow. Mary approached the bed slowly. Mama. The woman stirred, slowly opening her eyes. Mary, she whispered. You came. Mary sat beside her, holding back tears. These are your grandchildren. The woman smiled weakly. They're beautiful. Sheldon stepped forward awkwardly. Hello. I'm Sheldon. I'm very intelligent. Ruth laughed softly. I've heard. I read about your science fair win last year. You did? Sheldon asked, surprised. I kept the newspaper, she said. It gave me hope. Sheldon felt something shift inside him. A warmth unfamiliar and confusing. Over the next few hours, the family stayed by her side. Georgie helped fix a broken window hinge. Missy cleaned up some dusty books. Sheldon sat quietly, listening to Ruth speak in a voice that trembled with regret. I left your mama when she needed me, she said. I thought I was doing the right thing. But I've missed so much. Mary stayed quiet, but she didn't let go of her mother's hand. That night at the motel, Sheldon couldn't sleep. He sat by the window, staring at the stars. George Sr. walked in. What's on your mind, buddy? Sheldon replied. I don't know how to feel. I didn't know her, but I feel something. George sat beside him. Sometimes, knowing someone at the end is better than never knowing them at all. The next day they returned. Ruth was weaker. She asked to speak to Sheldon alone. When the others left the room, she held his hand. You remind me of someone, she whispered. Your great-grandfather. He used to build radios from scratch. Always had his head in the clouds. I don't believe in clouds. They're just condensed water vapor, Sheldon said. Ruth laughed softly. Still you have his eyes. There was a long silence. Then she said, I wish I could have been there. For your birthdays. Your first steps. Your first big discovery. But I'm proud of you, Sheldon. I really am. For once, Sheldon didn't correct her. He just nodded. Thank you. Later that afternoon, before they left, Ruth handed Mary a small wooden box. Inside was a baby blanket, yellowed with time. "I made this for you," she said. "I've kept it all these years." Mary wept. That night, as they drove home, no one spoke. The air in the car was thick with emotion. The next morning, the phone rang. Mary answered. After a long pause she whispered, "She's gone." Sheldon overheard. He didn't cry. Instead he walked to the kitchen, pulled out the old Polaroid, and stared at it. That day at school, during his presentation in science class, Sheldon did something he never did. He went off script. "Today I was supposed to talk about the structure of the atom," he said. "But I'd like to talk about memory instead. Like atoms, memories hold energy, even when the source is gone." His teacher, usually strict, let him continue. "I met my grandmother for the first time this week. She's no longer with us. But she left behind something, a blanket, a letter, and a story I'll carry forever." That evening, Sheldon sat with Mima on the porch. He asked, "Did you know her?" Mima nodded. "We were young. She was stubborn just like your mama. But she loved hard. Maybe too hard." "I think I understand," Sheldon whispered. "And I hope she knew I forgave her." Mima put her arm around him. "I'm sure she did, Moonpie. I'm sure she did." As the stars flickered above, Sheldon whispered to himself, "Goodbye, Grandma Ruth. I remember you now. I won't forget."